Bright suns and rising moons, fellow droids. Welcome to another episode of Not the Droids podcast. I'm Mayuri,
And I'm Danny.
and today we're going to be talking about episodes 9, 10, and 11 of Young Jedi Adventures Season 2, which is currently, at the time of recording, the last of the episodes that we have for the show. The titles, there's going to be six, so bear with me. There's The Missing Life Day Feast, The Lost Treasure of Tanu, The Wild Ackler, Liss's Lost Lightsaber, Tower Run, and The Jumping Jetpack. Um, and Danny, please tell me when these were released.
These were all released August 14th.
What a
Yeah.
surprise.
What a surprise for this season. So we mentioned this in our last episode, is that, and this isn't in regard to this first episode yet, is that the table reveal still hasn't happened, and that's adding to my theory that there's a second part of this season that we will get because they've been building it up, they've been dropping hints, and nothing.
Nothing. And actually, we're getting a lot more shots of Tabor as like behind the mask
Yes.
Cyrus, right? And so I feel like they're slowly dropping the crumbs for a big, like, I don't think he's going to be able to say it himself, like, I'm Cyrus, I'm Tabor. I think that it's going to be like a big situation that they're going to get into, and he has to reveal himself,
Yeah. Or
not
like
by choice.
either Kai figures it out or something happens that his helmet comes off.
Yeah.
So, but
So,
until we get that second season and find out which of these is true, Salak has returned.
so okay, she's just doing way too much. I was trying to figure out in this first one, the Missing Life Day feast, I was trying to figure out what was the point of this piracy that she's doing.
Like,
She,
I was okay with like this thieving of the food and the treats. Why are we cutting down a tree? This tree's
why
not
are
going
we?
to do any, this tree's not known to like create anything for you.
She must have some family trauma because first we meet her nephew, who from the beginning
Denal.
of the episode, yeah,
I liked him
Denal,
from the beginning. I'm like, I like
yeah,
this kid.
he seems like a nice kid, and she's like, I'm gonna make you a pirate, and he's just like,
Are you sure?
why?
Like, are we sure we
But
should
like,
be doing this? This is like their big family day. Like, why are we are on Kashyyyk. We are back at Life
yes,
Day with the Wookiees. So
which
we
is
are
another, another callback to last season. We
it
started here,
is.
we came back,
We're meeting Joe again and Joe's brother Rudy.
but I just don't understand. Okay, you want to steal the food, but she's not really like, and the supplies, but why cut down a tree?
It just oh,
It's
just to like make people angry because it's their holiday because they're celebrating. She has some family trauma.
she has some family trauma. She doesn't like this celebration and the like coming together as family. And it is just wild. So like the other thing is it's like Joe's brother, I forget his name, you said it. What was his
Rudy.
name again? Rudy did not notice this behemoth of a ship following him.
But it's a big ship. They could have like or we don't know if Rudy was flying at the time.
No, there's a shot of him flying
Is-
with the ship behind him.
Okay, maybe I missed that.
But then I was thinking maybe he didn't think anything of it because people were coming in for
Yeah,
Life
like so
Day.
many people are visitors. He's not expecting to be pirated on Life Day.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's where it's like the battle that happens with Salak. I will say the kids were holding their own
Hmm.
against a large number of people. And then I'm just like, where did Salak
Yeah.
get all these
Well,
droids and
we're
people?
seeing that some of these pirates that joined up a few episodes ago have stayed
Stayed.
with Salak. That she is growing her pirate army essentially. Because the last
Yeah.
episode with Chig, where she was getting everyone to join her,
She
we're
just kind of was just like, you work for me now. Like
yeah, and we
that's
we see that some of them have decided, yeah, we're gonna work for her.
Yeah, but like seeing her drag her nephew around and try to instill like
And watching his struggle, because you could tell he's just a good kid. And Kai gives us our lesson we have returned to a lot of things is that like you don't have to choose bad things.
you don't have to be bad.
And way
Um
to go on Denal's part and being like, I'll watch the prisoners while you go chop down the tree. And Kai's
that
like ready to
moment was
lecture,
so
and he's
funny.
like, click.
Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I already know this. You don't have to give me the
Yeah, like,
lesson.
I'm not
I
into this. This
already
isn't
know.
cool.
I
Like,
yeah.
Joe loves her brother. Like, this is what today's about, and I'm not gonna ruin that.
Yeah, no, it was just funny when he was like, "Yeah, yeah, 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 yeah. Go, go, go. Like you guys are free. Like I already know
And I have
this."
a plan as a kid to go get the adults to help us.
I will say when they flashed to, the pirates cutting down the tree, I laughed so hard because Toto Joe was like, "It's cut time." And I was, it's like, it was so funny
Oh,
because I was
Toto
just
Joe.
like, every time Toto Joe does something, it's like even in like one of the later episodes, he's fighting, and the way he's fighting is he's like spinning around like a tornado because he's so small. And I was just like, how does he hold his own? That's how. And I don't know. I just thought it was so funny. But I still cannot stand Salak. There's nothing redeeming in her. And I don't know if we're gonna get a redemption arc for her. Like it,
I'm just,
more out of all of the villains, she just feels like the one, I guess, except for Black Bolt now, who is just bad.
yeah, and it's too much in the same season to have. Like, it was like I
We had
enjoyed when like we had other problems, but now it's just like
when
more
we didn't
Salah.
get the chicken guy back.
Nope, no evil
We
chicken
didn't
little.
get we didn't get the, I
There's
mean,
that
we
other
kind of got,
group. I don't remember if they have names or not, but there's that other
no, I
group, and
don't
I was
remember.
vibing on them. Haven't seen them again.
So
But
that's where it's just like,
I'm gonna say also in these 3 episodes we're covering, this is not the end of Slock.
no.
But
And
it's
that's where it's just like they set up for such
yes,
a drop of this, like another part of the season. If
yes,
we don't get it, it's going to be disappointing because I'm
yes.
like, what? How are we going to defeat Salak? And I need
Mhm.
Tabor to be the one to do it. But
I
this
really did.
episode,
Well, I really appreciated Daynal when he was like truly shocked that they invited him to Life Day with them. In my
I
head, I'm
was so
going, "Your
happy.
aunt just left you and abandoned you on this
They're
planet.
not going to
You're
leave
now on
you.
Kashyyyk. Like this is not
Also,
home."
that was so wild, like so out of pocket. She just left him. But I will say there was a moment where I don't know if he's done it in the show before, but Kai used the Force to snatch his
Yes.
lightsaber.
I that was very noticeable.
And I was like, hop off, Kai. Like
Yes.
some of
Use it.
these action sequences and stuff with the lightsaber, you see the kids like start to have things that are like noticeably like the movements and the like what's the word, the behaviors of like Jedi that we meet in the future.
Yes.
But I thought it was funny because we just saw in Skeleton Crew, um all the kids handling the lightsaber whim. And
Yeah.
for a second there, I was just like, wouldn't it be funny if it was upside down? Not that it would be
Not at
because
this point. That's an episode
Kai knows how
one.
to use it, but
Yeah, that's
um
like a season one situation.
I feel like these were really Kai heavy, these last
We
three.
had a lot of Kai heavy. We do get Jovi back.
I know. I was like, where you
Um,
been, Jovi?
how much lost treasure is there of Tanu? There seems to be a lot of
Also,
lost treasure.
why is Tanu so rich in treasures? Like, I don't know.
So we have our Tanglevine snakes
No,
and
it's like what
Jovi. Yep, go.
I was gonna say, it's like, why with more creatures that are I love snakes, right? Like, do I want to be in a cave with a bunch of snakes? Not really.
But I appreciated this lesson, and like this is skipping to the end, but the lesson here was like Kai not realizing that other people have different fears than he does, and realizing he should have checked with his friend before going, we're going to a snake cave
That's true.
to
I mean, he
follow
was just so
Kalia Kublov.
excited. Kalia
Yeah.
Kublop and Master Stas were adventurers back in the day. I like the like setup where they're just like organizing the archives on Tanu, the two of
Yeah.
them, the history geeks or whatever. And they find an old data pad, right? So like it also sets up like data pads are such a staple in the galaxy.
Yes. They're not
Um,
new. Like,
my only thing is just like, why would you not take a breath to be like, hey, by the way, we found this like lost treasure cave. We're gonna go check it out.
who knows? But what happens when we find this treasure cave? SM-33 shows up.
Black Bolt. I okay, so full
Headcanon.
disclosure,
They are the same droid.
they're not the same droid though. Aren't they different model droids? They look different.
They are, but they're the same at the same
They
time.
have the same
Maybe
spirit.
Black Bolt is actually Tak Renad.
Now, so full disclosure, I was actually walking and watching this on my iPad while I was walking to the train. And legitimately in the middle of the street, when he, because we saw the cam droid, and I was like, oh, that's weird. Like someone's watching them. I wonder who it could be. And then all of a sudden he comes out. I shouted in the middle of the street. I was like, oh. I know that we talked that we were definitely going to see him again, but I somehow watching an episode about the treasures of Tanu did not even
Think that.
comprehend that he was going to be the villain of this episode.
Can we talk about his droid whose name is PR0T? I started laughing so much. I'm like, it's a parrot!
As soon as he introduced it, I was like, PR, OT, Prot? Prot? And then I was like,
Parrot.
the pirate has a parrot droid,
Yes.
which is the funniest thing that could have ever happened in
Yes.
this episode. I love how Kai was like, but we sent you to the other side of the galaxy. Excuse
Well,
me,
I mean, they
sir.
did.
It works both ways. If you
It
guys could get
does.
you guys get stranded and stuck in places all the time. Did you not think
Maybe
that
they thought
this
it would take longer because it really hasn't been that long. You were just like,
that's
we
true.
were under the assumption we sent you far enough away that it was going to be a bit before you get back.
Yeah.
And also,
It
is your first choice was to come all the way back to Sanu?
he has a grudge.
Yeah, he does.
He holds a grudge.
He also now has two shipmate droids, so he's picked those up somewhere.
Oh my god, they're so dumb though.
They're very much like Tweedledee Tweedledum. Like
They
I was
like
waiting for them to start fighting each other.
they're just like the epitome of pirates.
Yeah.
I just thought it was honestly, I spent this whole episode cackling about the parrot. The whole episode, every time I'm like, hello, parrot. Um, but there were some good action sequences in this episode,
There
I
were a
will
lot.
say. Jovi can fight.
I enjoy having Jovi in an episode.
Yeah, it was nice to see him again. It like this episode felt like it had a purpose and substance and like
Yes.
you see things. I will say the next one was not my favorite. It felt like a filler episode,
It did feel very filler. Anson is back.
which was
Um,
fine.
I
Um,
found it really Nubs really amused me this episode because like Anson has called all the Jedi kids like I need help and so they're expecting to go like into danger and they get to him and Nubs is the only one that pulls his lightsaber. He's like ready.
can we just talk about the superhero pose that Nubs struck, like the Jedi? Like,
Yes.
this is where he just like he did a flip, he landed, he had his lightsaber out,
Yep.
and he was
He was
ready.
ready.
Like the horns were locked.
He was tuned in.
He was so oh. He was ready for a fight, and I love how Kai's like, you sent us an SOS. We thought we were gonna be in like a big bounty hunter fight. Um,
And instead
I
he's
do
like, I need this rare creature because
Yeah,
my ship is in distress.
I do enjoy that they're using the animals, the Dunnels, more because it kind of solves my issue with them just leaving speeders everywhere.
Yeah.
They all get stolen all the time. Like, how much credits do they
Yes.
have to buy speeders?
Maybe
Um,
it's like, the scooters where you have like credits on them. Maybe they have like the rent-a-speeders too.
oh yeah, that's true. Oh, oh yeah.
So like this whole episode is spent being like, we're gonna help you catch it, but then they're having like secret conversations or like, who hired Anson? Like this feels weird. Like you're not supposed to take an animal from
The
its
whole thing,
habitat, but he said it's a
the
better habitat.
yeah, the whole thing felt sus from the beginning. And honestly, it's totally Anson's fault because I'm like, you should never have called them.
Yeah.
You called the Jedi to help you do a job so that you could get money. Like
Mhm.
that is not what that is
And
for.
you haven't done your research and like you've specifically not told the kids because had you said it's for Draven Bosch right up, they would have been like, no, we're not helping you.
They're like, absolutely not. But even they felt like it was sus. The animal was cute. Like it was adorable. It
He
kind of
was the
looked, it
wild
was like
Ackler.
very gazelle-like, the
Yes.
jumping. Um, I just every part of this episode, I was kind of annoyed, but it was nice to see the kids be like, we're helping because we were asked for help, but this doesn't feel right.
Yes. And like
And so,
processing that and
yeah,
deciding at
that
the end
like,
that they will not, they're like, no, this isn't right. We won't
and
be
so
doing this.
And I think that's the only like big thing with this episode because up until now, every time someone has asked for help, they have given it. And
Yeah.
this is the first time they have been asked for help that they are like, I don't know if we're supposed to help.
Yes.
Like this doesn't feel like it's something for us to help with.
Mhm.
Um, that's where I'm just like, it was kind of even the fight scenes were kind of like to me filler. The
Yeah,
droids were funny, but
yeah, I didn't love this episode. I did love
yeah.
the next episode.
Was it because we were back on Batu?
Well, it's not just that. We're back on Batu. And I just think it was like a great story. It starts with um, Master Dro and the Jedi, his Padawan, and our kids showing lightsaber maneuvers to the town. So we now see that they have connected with the community a lot more since our first visit.
Yeah, because like that was their goal, right? To have more community connection. And so
Yes.
I like that they're doing the demonstrations and so that people can see it.
And we meet
Um,
Sadie, who wants to be a Jedi, and she has her tree branch that's painted like a lightsaber, and our bully pack.
I was just like, this kid. I couldn't even tell how old Pac was because
Pack's a
like at the end of
teenager. I think Pack's
yeah,
like a teenager.
and it was like she's clearly like I couldn't tell if she was like an orphan or something. She was
I
shabby a
did tell.
little bit.
Yeah. Well,
She had very
after they're showing off their maneuvers, they're going to get Ronto wraps,
oh my
which
goodness.
we're gonna have them in a few weeks. It's on our list of things to do when we are at Galaxy's Edge.
So, oh, because we're back on Batu and Galaxy's Edge is Batu.
It is fun too. And like even the creature shop where they're looking at the theory, that is
That's
in the
there. Yeah,
marketplace.
I do remember that. Um, it is so Liz, and I don't even think that it's really her fault. Like she should have
Mm.
been tracking her lightsaber more, but like she would not have expected that. I did. Did you see that they all have like little individualized
Yes.
lightsaber holsters?
And hers, like on hers, it had the string that matched the. I was like going into the episode when I saw the title, I'm like, no one better give Liz crap because Ty has lost his
I has
lightsaber
lost.
multiple times.
Tabor has it.
Yeah, like
Right? Like no one's gonna give her anything, but I think she just
she.
doesn't want to have
Well, and
that
she
stress, right?
specifically
Like,
says a Jedi should always be mindful of their lightsaber.
yeah. So that's where it was just funny to see like Celeste run after her. I was
Hmm.
like, I mean, Celeste does have the force, like stronger control of it. Like, couldn't they have just
Maybe it's also a little dangerous.
that's true. But I
But then the episode would
still
have ended, so we wouldn't get
I
our
know it would have
lesson about bravery.
yeah, Sadie was adorable though, right?
Like
Like
Sadie.
and then she got the lightsaber stolen from her, which was just so
It
sad.
was. This was a little bit rough.
I know. I was just like, oh my God. I will say we got Liz's last name. We got all of their last names, but I only really wrote down Liz's because I was like, Liz
Yeah.
Soleil. Okay, girl, that's your last name? Because we haven't gotten that yet.
Had we not?
And not, I don't think so.
Maybe not. Maybe we just had it from the internet.
I didn't look it up. So, but this is why we have it because Liz Soleil is right there. Um, it was nice that they became friends. I will say that bully, I forget their name, Cal?
Pack.
No,
Pack.
Hack. Um, they had a nice ship though. I was like, that was a pretty nice ship. They don't have droids anymore because they're all destroyed,
Yep.
but that was a nice ship.
It's a great
Um,
destruction of droid sequence.
I wonder if we'll see Pack again.
You don't know. I hope we see Sadie again.
I do hope we see Sadie again. And I hope one day Sadie can meet Nash, who
Yeah, Sadie
has
should meet
been
Nash.
nowhere to be found for quite some time.
Right? It's been a bit.
Yeah. I think the next episode, the Tower Run episode, is the only time that we even see Nash for
And it's a 2-minute
quiet.
hologram to be like, sorry, I'm busy.
Yeah, like I got stuff to do. Have fun. I don't even think that was in this one. I think it was I think it was in the last one,
That
not
was
the
in the last
Tower
one.
Run.
Oh, this is the one where they talked about contacting Nash.
But they were like, it's gonna take
He's
too
not gonna
long for
make it in
Nash to
time
get here.
because Salak is back.
Again with Salak. I love that they were just like there buying fruit from Chig from the because he's at the pirate way station. Like even the other pirates are proud like supporting his business.
Yes.
Like
But now Salak is taking over and they're like, Chig can't be here. This is dangerous for Chig.
yeah, because they're like she's gonna make him be a pirate.
Yeah. Well, it's also because like essentially was a traitor to Salak.
Oh yeah,
Our
that's
last
true.
time we saw them, Chig was a traitor
Double
to
crossed
Salak,
her.
double crossed, saved the kids, and is the reason that our ship went sideways. And we see Tabor.
Tabor's just standing there, like trying to figure out what he wants to do.
Mhm.
And I think he's got a lot of ego, right? You
Yeah,
see it here. He's constantly fighting his ego to be able, like, I can take Yaram Tower from Salak. And
yeah.
the other thing is, I think he's feeling a kind of way that he's never considered taking Yaram Tower. Because that I love when
That's
like
a
she says
lot, though. Like,
when she comes up and she's like, I'm taking the tower, and people are like, can you do that? Is
yeah.
that something
Like, is that
that
a
you could
thing?
do?
But now, like, you've taken all these people, you're taking all their ships. I guess you have enough manpower now. The only way to get Chig out is Tabor's ship, which is parked, but with his friends, who we do not see a lot of anymore.
No, they are just
They
in the ship.
are RJ of the Firehawk. Stay with the ship.
Well, so I wonder if they were just there running an errand, right? Because also, like, I don't.
Yeah,
What did
it's
they
like
do
picking up
when,
parts.
like, what did they do when Tabor's like off being a prince?
Yeah.
There was I forget. Honestly, Tabor is so crazy in this episode. I love it. But
I
Kai
want
was
an
the
episode that is just like Tabor and his gang, like a day in the life.
seriously.
That's all
It's
I
like, what
want.
do they do while they wait for Tabor to
I
call
want to know more
them?
about Porg. I want to see Porg picking out her styles.
Yeah. Um, Kai was the voice of reason
Hmm.
when Tabor wanted to fight everybody. And he was just like, really, man, right now? Like, aren't you a little outnumbered? Like, this is too much.
Yeah. Well, and
Um,
then like he grabs them when they're trying to get through because Toto Joe.
oh my God, Toto Joe again and goes, and he's gone.
Yeah.
I just I like these little I don't actually remember who said that in the episode, but I was just like that was so funny. These like little things. But I this whole time I'm like Tabor was acting cray. He pulled a fake double cross where
Mhm.
he just like looked like he abandoned the Jedi. Um, but he came back.
It was pew pew pew.
His ship looks awesome. I don't think we've gotten a good view of the
Not
upgrades on his
really.
ship.
We've
And
seen
I was
like
like,
the cargo bay and when they're like communicating, but we haven't like really seen the ship.
mm-mm.
So then we go into the jumping jetpack.
So wait, before we go, I just want to talk about how cute it was that Hap was so happy to have Chig
Yes,
have
at the
the stand next
marketplace.
to him at the marketplace. And he was just like, there's so many fruit. I'm gonna make so many drinks because he's like such a like mixologist. And
Yes.
I just thought it was so cute. Like he got thrown at the end, and I'm like, oh, Chig is gonna have be part of Kublov and the community, and I just love that for him.
Yes, the better life.
He will eventually meet Marla, who we come back to. This episode was amazing. Do we know Moss? Is that the same Moss from the new Star Wars movies?
From Force Awakens.
I have it in
Maz
here asked.
Kanata.
I literally have it asked Danny, is this the same lady?
It
Because it
is.
looks like
Well,
her.
when we first met Marla, I remember seeing her and going, "Oh, she has like the glasses kind of like Maz."
Yeah, we
And
talked about it.
now
And
we
I
see
wonder
that
if
they're
that's
friends.
their friends. So again, we have that stupid little like Kai is there to run an errand for Nash because Nash is too
Because
busy to
Nash
even
is busy.
pick
I mean,
up.
Nash does have other jobs, but I would like to see Nash again.
I'm just like, these are the last 5 episodes that we've kind of gone through. When was the last time we saw Nash? I'm
Ooh.
just going back. Uprooted. It was the plant one. So it was 5 episodes ago. So that's where I'm just like, that is the longest string where we
We had
have not
3 episodes of
seen him.
Salak
I
just
know.
in
It's
this.
like,
It's more than that because last episode we had Salak too. So we're like, all the episodes that could have Nash all had Salak instead.
I was like, why? Um, but yeah, so I thought it was hilarious how they were like, it's a glitchy jetpack, like it's ruining everything. And Kai is just having that like head blown emoji at
Yeah.
every moment. He was just like, you're an adventurer, cool. You used to run with Marley? That's
This
scaredy cat.
one?
This Marley? He says it later in the episode, and I laughed so hard where he was just like, I just thought you were the lady from the junkyard.
Nope. And they both outran Kai. I'm like, Kai,
Oh
my guy,
my.
you need to start practice. I'm like, I know you're training with your saber. You need to start running in the
You
morning.
need to do some cardio, some vertical running.
Yes.
Um, no, but that's why he got showed up by a couple of ladies, and that made him want to prove himself. And every time he tried to do that, it was a
And they
disaster.
would then show him how to handle it even more.
Somewhere in this episode, they dropped the tidbit that Marla has been to Naboo.
Yes, it was right in the beginning.
And I'm just like, ooh, I like that this is how like Kai is like, I can learn so much from Marla.
Yes.
Um, the pool of sap was really weird in the middle of nowhere, but I guess it makes sense because like
Hey,
Tenu
we're all
has
terrified of quicksand as children.
listen, not just quicksand. Excuse me, my dear. I live in Boston. The Great Molasses Flood killed the people. It is a very serious thing in Boston. We do not joke about slow moving viscous fluid. Okay.
I mean, you had a molasses flood. Pennsylvania has a fire underground that's still burning to this
Oh my
day.
God. But yeah, and then there's just this pool of sap in the middle of Tanu. I love how Maz is like, I'm sinking. It's not great. If you guys could just like get your shit together and get me out. Like that would be great.
Maz
She's
is
so
calm.
calm.
Maz trusts Marlon. It's like Marlon will do this. We're great.
Well, so,
It's Maz and Marla. Like
they're so great.
Maz and Marla. I want to be them when I grow up.
I hope that we get like flashbacks of their like I want to see Maz again if we do like I want to see a flashback of one of their adventures together.
Mhm.
But I love the way she just like jetted off. She's like, I have to return to my castle. And that's when I was like, this has to be the same
It
Maz.
is the same Maz.
But like, where's her ship? She just like goes off in a jetpack. And I'm like, is she an astronaut? Like, she's not gonna fly.
Probably flying to her ship to go.
Yeah. But yeah, it was a really I wasn't even annoyed by Kai in this episode because it really wasn't about Kai.
No.
Kai was just learning that people are not always what they seem and you shouldn't judge them.
Exactly.
But
This is a lot more episodes. Who won these episodes?
we got a lot of Kai
Mm-hmm.
in these episodes. I think I'm gonna go with Tabor or Marla, to be honest, because you get a lot from them and
Yeah.
I just like want to pat Tabor on the back. He would have just left them a year ago. You know what I
He
mean? He
really
wouldn't have
would have. He
circled
wouldn't have
back. He
second
would have
thought.
just left
He wouldn't
them.
have even offered to let them on it. They're like, no, you gotta
No.
figure out yourself.
He would have just, you know. So that's where I'm just kind of like, I can. Tabor has the best growth out of every character
Yes.
on this series. And I don't know if it's intentional or if it's just a byproduct of pushing along the plot of
Yeah.
that rivalry. Um, but yeah, and then I guess Kai, just because Kai learns a lot in these episodes as well.
Yeah.
He's really, if you go through each episode, he's the Lys's lightsaber is the only one that wasn't Kai focused,
Yeah. I agree.
and
Which
the
episode
Acro
was your
one.
favorite?
Um,
Yarm Tower, because of
no, I hate Salak.
I
I
know.
it's so irritating. I actually really liked the jumping jetpack just because it was like exciting and new and
It was, yeah.
fun. It didn't again, even though it I feel like technically it was a filler episode, it did not feel like that.
Yeah.
It did not feel like a filler episode,
Yeah. I liked
even though
Liz's lost lightsaber. I
yeah,
really
that was a
enjoyed that
good one
episode.
too. That was a really good one. I don't know. I'm curious if they do drop new episodes on May the 4th,
Or
what they'll
at any
do.
point.
At any point from now until forever.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm curious where it'll go. I feel like they at least, even if they don't do a season three, I feel like they need to finish out season two. I think we need the Tabor reveal.
I think they have to finish out the Tabor reveal. They have to.
Yeah. But we are now officially done at this point with the Young Jedi Adventures.
That's wild.
How did you feel about this series?
So I was so skeptical when we started because
I
I
told
was
you we
just
were
like,
watching a show that's aimed for 2 to 6 year olds.
I was like, it's a kid show. How invested can I get into a kid? I am so invested. I have lost my mind. I cannot, I lost my mind at the Prince Cyrus reveal, like as if it was like Game of Thrones. I was like, what? I have to watch that again. Um, I like I said, and I've mentioned it before, I like character development and I like pushing the narrative forward.
Yes.
And so it is nice that they are doing that with Tabor's character. I feel like if they didn't have that, this show would not be enjoyable to
Mhm.
watch
And I think
personally.
we have a strong set of characters.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed it. It's been fun. It's been a fun way to start the podcast before really diving in, we are heading into The Acolyte next.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, and I'm glad that we didn't start with it because that would have been such a heavy nightmare to like, because like this was kind of great because we had a lot of episodes for you and I to talk. Um, if we had started with the Acolyte, I
Think you would have quit the podcast?
I don't think I would have quit. I think I would have had a mental breakdown about like just getting everything set for it because like even like through this like you see the logistics part of it in the back end. It gave
Yeah.
us time to like really go through like how we wanted things to look, how we want to
Feel
approach
how we,
new
yeah, it like really help
shows.
us find our voice a bit. And I know that's gonna change when we're starting to watch these bigger shows with deeper lore, but it was a
But this was
nice, easy way to like get to jump off from.
yeah, well, so I was gonna say it's just like the audience for Young Jedi Adventures, we were just BB podcasters for
Yeah.
this. And so like we
And I
got to
feel like a
grow
lot of
through
the
it.
Star Wars universe skips over the Young Jedi.
As someone who has not seen everything, and even if I have seen it, I have not seen a lot of Star Wars, and even if I have seen it, there's a lot of it that I haven't retained. So, like the new trilogy, I have seen it many a time, but the original trilogy and the Anakin trilogy, I don't really remember a lot of details about it. And so it is interesting that some of the frame of reference that I am now going to have going forward from Star Wars came because I learned about it in Young Jedi
Yeah.
Adventures.
Yeah. I know, like, it's wild that we're not like starting with the movies, but I like approaching it this way.
No, I think so. Like, that's where I think Young Jedi is actually like, if people are overwhelmed by the amount of information in Star Wars, it like is a very easy watch. You can kind of skim it, just like let it play while stuff is going on.
Yeah.
Um, and you learn like the basic principles of Star Wars, like how everything works, what is the mission of the Jedi, how do they like what was their relationship to the rest of the galaxy, and it informs a lot of what happens later.
Yeah.
Like you kind of understand more like why they're so revered, and then like
Yeah.
so that's where it's like it's a good jumping off point if you like don't know anything.
Yeah. And now we're heading right into the Acolyte, so
Straight
buckle
into the
up,
fire. Like
straight into the fire.
it's gonna be, are you at all, you've seen the
I
Acolyte.
have seen the Acolyte.
It is a culture shift
Yes.
from Young
Very
Jedi to the
different.
Acolyte. So I'm very worried about the first episode, and just that feeling. But
My only advice with the Acolyte, and that's also for people that are watching along with us, is do not binge it. It is not an enjoy it's an enjoyable show. It is not enjoyable if you binge it back to back because it's too much information and you will get overwhelmed. So I
yeah,
advise don't binge it. Take your time and really enjoy it. There's only one season. It has been canceled, much to a lot of our disappointment. We would love to see a season two, but at this point, we do not have that.
yeah. So I am very excited, and also kind of scared. So as always, we're not the droids you're looking for.
But we're the droids you're gonna get.